The British Prime Minister must explain to Parliament the reason for participating in attacking the Houthis. According to Sky News, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will face Parliament on January 16, Vietnam time, to explain why the UK joined the US in the campaign to attack Houthi targets in Yemen, and why British lawmakers were not consulted about this military action. 4 Royal Air Force Typhoon jets took part in last weekend's US-led attack on sites used by Houthi rebels. The U.S. military said the attack on the night of January 11 and 12 targeted Houthi weapons depots, radar facilities, and command centers. U.S. forces also carried out another attack on January 13 on a Houthi radar facility. Houthi rebels claim they have targeted Israeli-linked ships traveling in the Red Sea region in response to the war in Gaza. However, in reality they regularly attack ships with no clear connection to Israel, endangering shipping operations on this important global trade route. This is also the reason why the U.S. established a coalition of 10 countries to organize a series of airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. However, British Defence Secretary Grant Shapps said on January 15 that the British attack on January 12 was carried out as a single action and not part of the above campaign, although he does not rule out British participation in further military attacks. We will now be watching very carefully to see what the Houthis do next, how they react, and we will see from there, Mr. Shapps said. Keir Starmer, leader of the main opposition Labour Party in Britain, said he supported last weekend's airstrikes but expected more open sharing from the government in the future. If the government proposes further action, then it should say so and raise the issue, and we will have to consider that on a case-by-case basis based on the facts, Mr. Starmer said. The opposition Liberal Democratic Party also accused the government of abuse of power and said military action should be approved by the National Assembly. Prime Minister Sunak's government is facing growing military demands in an increasingly unstable world. Hours after the attack on the Houthis, Mr. Sunak was in Kiev, where he announced an additional £2.5 billion, $3.2 billion, in military aid to Ukraine and signed a security agreement long-term with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Currently, Prime Minister Sunak's ruling Conservative Party is lagging behind the Labour Party in public opinion polls ahead of this year's election. In that context, Mr. Sunak is still trying to revive the stalled plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda. Plan Rwanda is a controversial policy and has so far not brought a single refugee to the East African country. But it has become a vital issue for Prime Minister Sunak, who announced a central pledge to stop the boats bringing illegal migrants to Britain across the English Channel from France. More than 29,000 people have made that dangerous journey in 2023. 5 people died over the weekend while disembarking from a boat scheduled to depart from northern France in the darkness and winter cold. London and Kigali reached an agreement almost 2 years ago under which migrants arriving in Britain across the English Channel would be sent to Rwanda, where they would have to stay permanently. The plan has been criticized by human rights groups as inhumane and unworkable, and has been challenged in the British courts. In November 2023, the UK Supreme Court ruled that the policy was illegal because Rwanda was not a safe country for refugees. In response to the court ruling, Britain and Rwanda signed a treaty pledging to strengthen the protection of migrants. Prime Minister Sunak's government argues that the treaty allows it to pass a law declaring Rwanda a safe destination. If passed by Parliament, the law would allow the government to sidestep parts of UK human rights law that deal with sending refugees to Rwanda and make it difficult to challenge deportations in court. More difficult. However, the bill has faced strong criticism from both centrist conservatives, who say it violates international law, as well as from right-wing lawmakers, which argues that it is not strong enough because it still leaves few legal ways for migrants to protest deportation orders. Both sides said they would try to amend the bill during 2 days of debate in the House of Representatives, culminating in a vote on January 17.